Love, you get your first championship in 2010. Tell me, what about that day? Anything in particular stand out to you?
Well, you know, besides it being like, you know, just something lifted off your shoulders, for me, it meant everything because I felt like I owed it to Mick. Like, I always told myself, like, there's 3 people I want to physically see me win a championship. Mm-hmm. One was, of course, my mother and my father, mm-hmm. and Mr. Mickens. And, of course, my mother and father, they got a chance, but Mr. Mickens didn't get a chance. And, you know, in our private conversations, like when we lost to, you know, Lincoln with the Lance Stevenson, you know, come back to school, and he used to tell me, like I said, he called me kid, like a kid, don't worry about it. Like, you're going to get one of these round balls. You're going to win a championship. And, you know, at that time, you like, well, this was my chance. Like, you know, you don't get back there but so many times, you know. And he, you know, he just had that sense of just keep working hard, mm-hmm. keep believing, you know, pieces are coming to place, and you're going to get one. So soon as that clock expired, you know, I kind of just start bawling, start crying. And I was crying. You know, most people thought maybe I was crying because I finally won a championship, but I was really crying because Mr. Mickens wasn't there physically.
Yeah, he had passed a few months before, right?
A few months before.
And I was reading one of the articles, like before the game, you said, I ain't much of a crier, but if we win that one, I might have to shed a few tears for Mick. Who was on that roster?
Oh, wow. It was...
That's Mike Taylor?
Yeah, it's Mike Taylor. That's Antoine Slaughter. That's Leroy Eisler. That's Jeff Neverson. Anthony Hemingway. Brandon Williams.
Did you know
Corey.
These guys were going to get it done? Was there a point in the season when you like, I got a championship team here?
Yeah, towards the end. At first, I didn't. You know, I had Leroy Truck Flood on that. That's the only player in boys high history to win 3. Mm-hmm. And he won 3 in a row. Towards the end of like regular season, you could just see. But the way those kids approach practice every day, it was war. Like,
tell them, Love.
It was war. Nobody, you know, like Mike Taylor didn't want to play with Antoine, so like he wanted to play against him, and you know they be in my ear like before practice started, like. The coach, when it's time for us to scrimmage, who's on teams? Like, they just was really, really into it. All the running, they would get the running done, and they would get on each other if they didn't make the time. And it was kind of like they, you know, those 2 hours, you try to get kids to lock in for 2 hours in practice. Well, with that group, they locked in. It was nothing else mattered. They didn't care about they mom, they friend, whatever was outside that gym, those 2 hours, they locked in, and they just became better. And they was very close, and they still close to this day.
To this day, yeah.
To this day.
To this day. That game, you guys played Cardozo. I see you guys were down 10, able to bounce back. How were you able to keep guys together in a championship game? You down 10. You know, boys and girls came up the bridesmaid in the context before. How'd you keep them focused to pull it out?
You know, at halftime, me and my coaches, we always huddle up before we go into the locker room and, you know, pretty much say what we want to say in regards to just looking at stat sheets. And I went into the locker room. I let my assistant coaches talk and talk about what they felt that they seen out there on the court. And I remember just like sitting down, and I just got up and I just said, you know what, guys? I just want y'all to play.
That's it.
Just leave it on the court. Just play. Just have fun. Just play. Just play loose. You don't have to worry about me, like, yelling you for everything. Just go out there and leave it on the court.
Yeah.
And I think that's all they had to hear is, like light bulb just came in their head, and they just went out there. And if you watch the first half or the second half, they just played.